Hello, and welcome to Sideways. I'm out in the pre-Christmas snow, which is, I have to say, a bit of a treat. When me and Martin were kids, it felt like it snowed heavily every year. Maybe it did. There would be epic snowball fights all along the road amongst the then sparsely parked cars until we were called home for our tea, or most likely because it was bedtime. These days we're different, and I expect we'd behave differently because we aren't like the little boys and young men we once were. That's what we're talking about this week. In addition to threatening frogs, strange LPs, adopting local accents, and bagels. Reinventing yourself.
Morning.
Morning. What time do you call this then?
Yeah, my watch had stopped.
Your watch had stopped?
Yeah, I know. It's bizarre, isn't it? I was looking at my watch. Well, it hasn't actually stopped. It says, well, it's about 20 minutes slow now for some reason. I don't know why. So I was a bit confused.
That's like saying that's like the dog ate my homework.
This is actually true. So,
well, I expect there have been occasions where it's true that a dog has eaten homework.
On a very rare occasion, I'd imagine. Yeah. I
can remember my mum's dogs once ate my birthday cake. That's similar? That's similar, isn't it?
It's got similar rings to it. Yeah, similar tone. Yeah, lucky dog.
Well, not really. It was a chocolate cake, and chocolate's not good for dogs. So, no. How are you?
All right. Yeah, a bit cold this morning, isn't it? Frosty out.
Frosty the snowman.
Yeah. Did you go out with the doggies?
Yeah, it was. Not only was it super frosty, but it was also freezing fog.
Yeah, I was out quite late last night, and it was very foggy on the roads.
I hope you weren't out on the lash.
I wasn't out on the lash, no.
You were at a quiz night, I believe.
I was at a quiz night, yeah, which was fantastic, yeah.
Did you win?
The team I was on did, yeah.
Did they? Unlike England?
Unlike England, yeah.
I thought I'd better bring it up because I wondered how you were feeling this morning about it all.
Well, I'll come on to it in my gratitude list, actually, just to mention that, yeah.
Okay, great. I will leave that till later. Yeah. So, in all honesty, how well did you think you contributed to the victory of your team last night?
Oh, I think I had a reasonable input.
Did you?
As we all did, yeah. It was a good team effort. I think we'll come up with some good answers, yeah.
Because you and I have discussed in the past going on Pointless, haven't we?
Yeah.
And which would be good fun, but I think the problem we'd have is that we probably know the same stuff. That's
the issue, isn't it? You need a bit of spread of knowledge. Yeah. So it probably wouldn't work. We'd either win handsomely or more likely crash out very early on.
Go out in the first round.
Yeah.
Anyway, did you win a prize last night?
Yes, I won a winner's medal. Just very nice.
I'm quite surprised you're not wearing it.
Yeah, it is over. It's just over yonder, over back there.
Is it? Is it gold?
It is gold. Yeah.
Yeah, real gold.
Not solid. No, more sort of goldy coloured plastic.
Was there a tangible prize as well, or just the medal?
Just a medal. It's just the taking part and the camaraderie of everyone from the Aspire to Be recovery community being together.
Lovely.
And having fun.
Lovely. Was it Christmas themed?
No.
No, I suppose.
No, the quiz wasn't, no, but the house was that we were at, which was beautiful.
Lovely. Yeah. Oh, good.
Anyway, there's a lot of rubbish you can cut out there.
I just think it's polite just to have a little introductory chat.
Little chit chat. Yeah. It gets us in the mood, doesn't it?
Yeah, I can see when you're starting to get irritated by it, which actually just makes me want to carry on with it even longer.
Well, quite. I'm not all that good with small talk.
Well, I'm trying to help you.
Oh, thanks, mate. Yeah.
Actually, I'm not very good with small talk either, so perhaps it's helping me as well. But let's crack on.
We'll crack on, yeah, before we get too far down that rabbit hole. So I think this was one of your ideas that came up during one of our recordings, actually, right? Which was on reinventing yourself.
Okay.
Why it's relevant is because in the recovery groups, we often talk about the opportunities that arise or spring out of when you've encountered your own version of rock bottom. And you can start to then build up from there into the best version of yourself. It's in other words, reinventing who you currently are.
Yeah, so essentially recovery is a reinvention of yourself.
It is largely all about that. And it's something that we discuss But what we haven't discussed, which is what I would like to address here, is really how to do that.
Oh, okay.
But, and why it's important, really. But before we start,
Yep.
just a quick one on this. I noticed there's an album been released recently in the last couple of weeks in Australia.
Right.
It's called The Songs of Disappearance, which features the calls of 43 endangered frogs. Okay. Now, I read about this, and they're hoping to knock Taylor Swift off the top of the charts this Christmas
With some frogs.
some frog calls. Yeah.
What was there any sort of indication as to what the likelihood of that happening was?
Pretty slim, I think. But the reason they released it is because they wanted to draw attention to the declining frog population in Australia.
Yeah.
By recording the calls, and what they say on the notes here, recording the calls of the most threatened frogs.
Yeah.
How about you? I've never really gone around threatening frogs, have you?
No, I mean, that's occasionally I see them in the garden. I just leave them alone.
You don't threaten them, do you?
I wouldn't dream of threatening them.
No, you wouldn't. No.
You get out of my garden. I would never do that.
No, you wouldn't, would you? No. So I don't know which ones are most threatened and which is least threatened. I suppose the ones that look a bit calmer, the threatened ones are going to be ones that are shivering and shaking, running away, aren't they? Hopping away.
Oh, dear. Well, I'm also wondering whether, do you think that would be a relaxing listen?
I don't know, not really, is it? They're not great sounds, are they, really, the frogs?
I don't know. Maybe. I suppose it's possible, isn't it, that if you listen to them for long enough, you kind of get used to them. They become, in that way, somewhat comforting. Whether they're more alluring and comforting than listening to Taylor Swift, I don't know.
Probably about the same, to be honest.
Well, I don't know. Taylor Swift released 2 albums in lockdown, didn't she? I can't remember what they were called now, but they were both fantastically good. I mean, I'm not a massive fan generally, but those albums were brilliant. So
better than frogs.
I don't know if they're better than frogs. I haven't heard the Frog album. Maybe I'll stream it on Spotify if it's available.
Yeah, perhaps they're going to top the download charts. So I think now we've mentioned it, loads of people are going to have a look at it, aren't they? Or have a listen.
Exactly. Yeah.
Actually, I do remember I was on my honeymoon actually out in Antigua, and I remember the tree frogs out there. Mm. The noise was just in the evening as dusk approached, the sort of cacophony of noise of these tree frogs, and they were you got used to them. But when they first sort of went into chorus, it was deafening. I thought I'll never be able to get to sleep. They're going to be like that all night. But you did get used to them, and they did become sort of comforting. Yeah,
because it becomes a kind of white noise, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Which I expect is how some people might describe Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't. I mean, as I say, I've liked a lot of her work, but I'm sure. I imagine she's not to everyone's taste.
No. She hasn't got universal popularity, but there's a lot of people that do like her, that's for sure. Mm. But when I was reading about that particular album that's being released, it reminded me, because we used to have an album at home that my dad had, and that was, it was a bird song LP, right? So had all the different British birds on there, because he was fascinated, and he could tell when we were out in the garden or out in the woods, he could listen and say, oh yeah, that's a certain songbird or a certain bird. But I remember he used to play at home sometimes, and it used to drive the cat crazy. Do you remember Ben, our first cat? He used to go mad. Yeah, he used to paw at the speaker on the stereogram.
That's a bit unkind playing that in front of the cat, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, but we put it on for fun after that, just to drive the cat crazy. Loved it.
Could put some little sort of ear protectors on the cat while he wanted to enjoy the Birdsong album. I don't think we had any albums like that. I think we might have had, the nearest we got was I think my brother had a sound effects album.
Oh yeah, they were good though, weren't they?
You could get BBC sound effects albums.
Yeah. I
don't know how useful that would be really, because obviously you're just listening to a random selection of sound effects. Oh, what's coming on next? Oh, it's someone with a pneumatic drill. I don't know how helpful that would be. And of course there was I don't think you would get them anymore. I don't even think you could stream them now, but you used to be able to get albums of TV themes, didn't you?
Probably. TV, I think you did, yeah.
The Van der Valk theme and bless this house.
Yeah, all the proper ones.
I mean, just the thing that we used to sit and listen to that.
We did, yeah.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? When you think about it. Mind you, I suppose it's no more ridiculous than listening to an album of endangered or threatened frog songs.
No, quite, no. But it was cheap in those days, wasn't it, to entertain ourselves?
Well, there was nothing else
Very
to do,
easy.
was there?
There was nothing else to do.
What are we doing today? Let's listen to the sound effects album.
I think that was supposed to be used as so you could integrate them into your other recordings, weren't they? So you could.
Yeah, but I mean that was pretty difficult, wasn't it? Because if you had it on an LP, you're back to pressing play and record on your cassette player and making sure you get the timing right. Life was difficult, wasn't it, in those days?
It was. It's not as easy as
they don't know they're born, do they?
No, they don't. But we'll move on, shall we?
Yeah. Are you getting irritated again?
I'm very irritated. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you brought it up.
I did. I'm going to go on to start the subject we're going to talk about. It's just a quick quote from George Bernard Shaw. Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. And he goes on to say that many of us have two lives, the life we live and the unlived life within us. Between the two stands resistance, which is what I wanted to talk about, really. And but I thought it was a good starting point. Because, life isn't about finding yourself, because people, certainly during the 60s and 70s, they said, I'm going to go and find myself and bugger off to Marrakesh and stuff, didn't they?
I think people still do that, don't they?
They do. It's just for a holiday, I reckon, don't you?
Well, I don't know. I think sometimes it does come from some sort of internal yearning to, I think we've discussed it in the past, where really when people are sort of trying to find themselves, what they're really trying to do is get away from themselves, I think, quite often. So you think, I'll take a trip across the world, I'll get away from the way that I feel about myself or my misery or whatever. But of course, wherever you go, you take yourself with you, don't you?
You do. But I'll come on to that because that's one of the sort of tips on how to reinvent yourself.
Right.
But the bulk of it, I was reading a blog from someone called Karen Merrick, and I want to just quote a little bit here because I think she puts it quite well. But it's a slightly different viewpoint, so I'd like to know what you think on this.
Is she related to John Merrick?
I don't think she is, no. If she is, she looks an awful lot different.
Right, okay.
Anyway, what she says, she said, here's the thing about reinvention. Some believe it's about tossing out the old, your previous roles, experiences, and even work identity, and exchanging it for something completely new. That's not accurate. Instead, the best power of reinvention lies in leveraging everything you've ever done. The good, the bad, the ugly, the successes and failures. It taps into the very real and often unappreciated and unarticulated skills, insights and expertise that you have gained along the way. So you don't need to try and create a whole new personality from scratch to reinvent yourself. And whatever the motivation, it's essential we continue to grow and change in big or small ways, one day at a time. Now, we relate to that one day at a time in the recovery community because that's very much our mantra.
We're constant new iterations of ourselves, aren't we?
We are, yes, we are. And I think it's an ongoing process, isn't it? It's not something which you start today, finish in a week's time, and that's our job done. I think it's an ongoing process of evolution.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that trips us up sometimes is thinking about personality as a fixed point.
Yeah.
When we say things like, "Oh, that's not who I am," or "That's not me," or we're kind of creating a rigidity around ourselves that neither needs to exist nor does exist, really. This whole, if you think back 20 years, well, as you think back to your drinking days, I mean, you're completely different, aren't you, in that respect? There are still aspects of you that are recognizable.
I see people evolve in exactly that way when they go into recovery, and they come in quite closed and still trying to, say things that are making themselves, or trying to big themselves up, really. And then suddenly you find out that that's not really the way forward, and it's humility and being open emotionally, which helps to ease your path towards a successful recovery. Yeah, definitely.
Which is a reinvention, isn't it?
It is, yeah. But I was looking at ways of how to do this successfully, and there's whole lots of different thoughts and ideas, but I sort of collated a few of the ones that I thought probably would be best to discuss with you. And the first point that comes up is about visualizing your future. So, if you want to reinvent yourself, if you're unhappy where you are, which is why we do it, we're unhappy with certain traits, or we're unhappy with how we feel about ourselves, and a reinvention can be difficult, but there are certain ways of doing it, and there's no point in trying to reinvent yourself if you've got no goal of what you want to reinvent yourself towards, is there?
No, that's right. There are only really two things that motivate our movement in life, and that is either to get away from pain or towards pleasure. And the interesting thing about recovery, I think, you can tell me if this is right, is that there is a very kind of strong pull with both of them. You're desperate to get out of the pain of addiction, and sometimes perhaps that desperation can be more powerful than your ability to visualize an enjoyable future.
I'd agree. Yeah, it does. And
actually, and the reason that makes things sometimes a bit difficult is that it's much easier to move towards something than it is to get away from something. So if you're always kind of fixated on, I just want to stop drinking, I just want to stop drinking, or just want to stop using drugs or whatever it is, there isn't as much inertia and forward motion in that as being able to say, yeah, I want to get away from drink, but that's where I want to get to. I want my life to look like that. I want to feel like that. I want these sorts of people around me. I want to be doing these sorts of things every day. And the more, I think the more detailed and accurate the picture you can visualize of that, the easier it becomes to get to.
I think you're right. You've got to reflect on the changes you want to make as well, to make sure that what you're visualizing is correct for you. And it is quite tricky in addiction, because the draw back to your old life is so strong. And the one day at a time thing doesn't allow you really to visualize too far ahead. But it's nice to have those motivations as the long-term goals around you, as you say, about this is what I would like to do in the future, this is what I want to do, these are the people I want to be with. It is quite tough, but it's essential if you're going to move along, because you're right, just putting down the drink is just the start of it. There's no point in doing that and then doing nothing else. You need to be able to move on to enjoy your new life that you're creating for yourself.
Yeah, because if you just put down the drink and you don't have a sense of where you're getting to, where you're going to, then you're never far from the drink, are you?
No, you're not, no.
You're not really travelling any distance from the drink towards a life without drink.
No, you're just putting up a very flimsy barrier between you and your last pint.
I mean, it's the same. That's not just true in addiction. I mean, it's true in any kind of significant life change you're trying to make. So, anything you're trying, anything painful or that's not working for you, that you're trying to get away from, it's really important to have something that you're getting towards, as well as, being clear about the thing that you're trying to get away from, or the situation you're trying to get away from.
You're right. And the next point was, following on from that, was, again, it gets mentioned. We mention it quite a lot in our podcasts, and it gets mentioned an awful lot in groups whenever we're discussing things. But it's about writing things down and journaling it, so you can have these goals and so you don't lose sight of them. And you can write down quite long-term goals, but more significantly for us in recovery initially is the little small-term goals. Just to get up in the morning and make your bed and have a shower and do little things like that. Mm-hmm. Which helps to reinventing yourself at that point from very small changes from which the bigger changes come. So I think it's quite important at that point. So both of those points about journaling and starting small, which comes up a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, starting small is, and one of the reasons that starting small is so important is that if you do make those tiny little, almost imperceptible changes, like making sure you get up at a reasonable time every day and making your bed and, whatever it might be, after a while, you find that even though nothing seems like it's different, everything is.
Yeah.
They all add up to something much more significant.
They do. And when because the next point was about creating a game plan and setting goals and timeframes. And I was thinking, is that wise? Which is what I wanted to run that by you. It's nice to have those, but if do you think it's right to have a set time frame and then be disappointed if you don't achieve it within that time frame? Or do you think that's a motivational point?
I think it depends on the person.
Okay.
I think because I think people tend to fall into one or two categories. It's a massive generalization, but stick with it. I think some people find it easier to visualize an end goal, but they're not quite sure how they're going to get there.
Okay.
And other people are better at I know what I've got to do right now, but I don't know where I'm headed. So, you're either good at very short term or you tend to be very good at long term, but you're not quite sure what the steps are to get there. And so, naturally, if you're someone who's quite good at a long-term visualization, it might be quite helpful for you to say, well, in 6 months, I want to be here. In 12 months, I want to be there. But that doesn't work for everybody. As you say, some people will become kind of so fixated on that goal that they lose the important sense of flexibility around it being aspirational rather than this is a fixed point. I've got to get it. If I don't get it, I've failed.
Yeah, we can become a chore, can't it? Yeah. And
when you think about, addicts tend to be quite black and white thinkers, don't they?
Yeah.
So the downside of making very fixed goals for yourself is, as you say, if you miss it, you've got to think about how you're likely to view that. So I think, this might be another point that you're going to make about the importance of certain steps in reinventing yourself. But I think you've got to know yourself. I think you've got to be pretty good at self-reflection. Before you can essentially become someone different, you've got to know who you are now.
Absolutely. Yeah, your core values and where you stand. And your thinking process, which again, I want to come on to. But you're right.
If you know you're someone who reacts well to fixed targets, if you know that's something that makes you thrive, fine, have them.
Yeah.
If you know that that's not the way that you work, don't suddenly imagine that just because you put a load of targets in place is going to make you more effective, because it won't.
Yeah. No, it won't. I think it's important also to not lose, or to lose the motivation. So if you aren't reaching those particular goals or timeframes, don't give up. Keep going. I think that's a big thing, and we talk about that all the time in groups. Is a bit the only real crime in recovery is throwing the towel in. Take as long as you like, and take as many goes as you like. Because as long as you're still striving to get there, that's all we can really ask of anyone, and ask of ourselves.
Yeah, because that is the work of reinvention, isn't it?
It is. And do you think that getting support from others is a good idea here as well? Do you tell other people what your goals and motivations are?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything negative about sharing your aspirations with people and where you're trying to get to. And as you say there, one of the reasons that people don't share what they're trying to do is because they're fearful of failure.
Yeah.
And of course, it's not only the fear of failure that stops them doing it. The other impact it has is you're almost preparing to fail by not telling people. So it's like You're saying to yourself, oh, well, when this doesn't work out, when I can't do this, I won't have to deal with the shame of having to tell people I messed it up. But actually, it's much better to do the reverse, to say to people, this is where I'm getting to, this is what I'm trying to achieve, and to use that as kind of motivation to strengthen your endeavours.
I totally agree. And it's something that I bang a drum about in groups, and people sometimes kick back against it, because I'm a big advocate of telling people that you're in recovery. Because for me, it gave me extra motivation to think I do I not want to fail myself. I don't want to fail other people. I know that's probably the wrong way of thinking about it, but it gave me motivation. Because I think people can sometimes creep into recovery, all secret squirrel, not telling everyone. It leaves the door back open for them to sneak back to their old ways without any great repercussions apart from their own issues, the mental health issues, etc. But those people around them they won't know what's going on anyway, so they can't judge them. Yeah, so I'm often keen that people do, and everyone has their own way of doing it. You don't go around with a badge, I'm an alcoholic written on it, or a T-shirt. But you do. I think it's quite nice to mention it to those people that are necessary to mention it to, because you will get support and you will get motivation from those, and you will get pats on the back sometimes, which is quite nice.
No, I think that's right. It's for every individual to decide who they want to share things with. But I think keeping it secret, keeping it quiet from everybody, that doesn't feel very healthy.
No.
And I think, I don't do it very much now, probably because so many people vape. But I used to work quite a lot with people who wanted to stop smoking. And one of the things I used to always say to people in the kind of gap between sessions was, tell everybody that you're stopping.
Yeah.
Tell everybody, and some people used to think, oh crikey, I don't want to do that because what if I don't?
Yeah.
But actually, it's this exact same point. It increases your motivation when you've told everybody. It does create a greater imperative in you. Crikey, I can't not do it now because I'd have to tell everybody, oh yeah, I know I said I was doing it, but I'm not doing it. This idea of protecting yourself by not telling anyone weakens your own resolve.
I agree. The next point was that reinvention starts in the mind. You could say to improving the way you think. And again, when you're talking to other people, it helps you to sort of visualize the way you're thinking as well. It helps to articulate, I should say, really the way you're thinking. If you just keep it to yourself, it's difficult. Again, journaling it will help, but I think if you talk it through with other people, it clarifies it a little bit more as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
in improving the way you think, I think that what they're talking about there also is positivity. Thinking positively about these things. Improve. It's very easy, and I know from an addict's point of view, you come from a very negative standpoint when you're in the madness, and it's difficult to drag yourself away from that to embrace any sort of positivity, and that can take quite a long time to start to get there. But when you do it, it's amazing how it snowballs, and your recovery will crack on.
Yeah, I mean, there might be even something more fundamental than that, which is reminding yourself that it's okay for you to change. It's all right for you to. It's all right for you to be different from the person you are today, or you were last year, or 2 years ago, or 5 years ago. It's like, if you think about it, not changing is harder than changing. As we grow, we're constantly evolving, we're constantly changing. It's being stuck in the same space, feeling the same way, doing the same things, behaving in the same way. That's quite difficult. It takes quite a lot of work to do. It
does. You
know what it's like if you're an addict and you're kind of in that constant cycle of addiction. It's hard work, isn't it? Really?
It is. Yeah. It's hard work to keep that going.
Taking an enormous toll on you emotionally. I'm yet to meet anybody who is in long-term recovery that doesn't feel as if their life is easier and better.
Oh no, well, quite. Yeah.
Right. So it's worth considering that not changing is the exhausting option.
Yeah. Which is a good way of improving your thinking. I think that's a good point, isn't it? I hadn't got that written down, but it was a good addendum you put in there.
You can write it down now if you want.
Thank you for turning up. I think you've done well so far.
Well, at least I turned up on time because my watch hadn't stopped.
I know. I'm disappointed with that because I'm going to have to go get a new battery now, and that's always ag.
I'd say it's quite old-fashioned. People often don't wear watches now.
No, I know. I just find it. I just find them comfortable. I get home from work, take off my work watch and put on my home watch. Which I think everyone does that, don't they?
Oh dear, no, I don't think they do. No,
I don't think I
tell the time by the position of the sun.
Do you? Very, very traditional. I don't think I've never not had a watch since my dad gave me a watch when I was a very young boy to be able to help me tell the time, and I've had a watch on my wrist ever since. Just feels comfortable.
Anyway, you put it on your gratitude list.
Oh, I could do that, couldn't I? Well, I'm not grateful for it stopping, although it's losing time now. I'm disappointed. The next point was about improving your health regime. So I think we could all benefit from that, can't we? If you are reinventing yourself, change it. Do the walking and the exercising and the diet change, because I think that helps to spur you on to feel a bit differently about yourself, doesn't it? So you can embrace these changes.
Don't wait until January the 1st.
No, well, we've talked about that before, haven't we? The futility of the New Year's resolution.
Yeah.
The point that came up next, and something again we were talking about in group yesterday, actually, was about investing in yourself. Because there's a new person in group, and they'd asked me how long I've been sober, and I told them, and they were astounded and said, "Well, how do you do it?" And I said, "Well, one of the things I did was to invest in myself, which was about don't stop learning." Investigate. For me, it was learning about addiction, and it became almost an addiction in itself. But it took me away from how I was feeling.
But a healthy one.
But a healthy one, yeah. It made a big difference to me. And reading more and learning from others, be willing to learn from others, because I think you can become very close-minded. Well, you do in addiction when you're in the madness. You don't listen to anyone's opinion, and your own ones are shit. And so you're in a bit of turmoil there. But be willing to listen to others and learn from other people as well. That
observation from the new member in group, when he or she asked you, how long have you been sober? And you said, I've been sober for 11 years. And they said, how can you do it? How do you do it? That's a real illustration of what it is to be right at the start of any shift, isn't it? It's like,
isn't it? Yeah.
It's like a real manifestation of how this feels impossible. Cannot imagine getting there. And I suppose in peer support, that's one of the great benefits of it, isn't it? That you can hold people through that period.
Yeah, you can.
I mean, only if they have to be willing to be held through it.
Yes.
But that recognition that at the start of that, I don't want to use the word journey. I'm not going to use it.
No, you said it.
Yeah. But that's really a time when you require a lot of self-belief.
Yeah, you do. And I think it's also, just on that point about investing in yourself, it came up about, slightly off topic here, but about someone was wondering whether they could afford therapy. And we were saying, well, especially if you put that alongside what the amount you used to spend on drink and drugs and that sort of thing, this is a much healthier way of using those funds, and you're going to benefit enormously from. I'm not trying to do your job for you, or to advertise you, but I think it was worth pointing out because someone was umming and ahhing, and then we're saying, well, that's it's got to be a great investment. Going back to investing in yourself.
Yeah, the thing about paying for therapy is I always think that people, unless you haven't got any money,
absolutely,
unless it's genuinely, I haven't got the cash. I think when people pause because of the cost of therapy, it's not really about the money. It's really that they're not sure it's going to work for them.
Yes,
because if you knew that therapy was going to help you, it would be worth the money, wouldn't it? Whatever it is you're paying. So I think it's a bit of a red herring, the whole can I afford therapy? Really, the question when someone's asking, can I afford therapy, is, do I believe therapy will help me?
Yeah.
And if that's where you are, if you're in that headspace, do I believe therapy will help me? There's only one way to find out, isn't there?
There is. It comes up when it's because you can get it on the NHS, but it's a massively long waiting list, and once you get it, it's for a very short period, which, as you and I have spoken about before, can be quite ineffective. So
I think most people who are dealing with understanding the origins of their addiction and trying to kind of create some long-term positive sense of self, a limited number of sessions is unlikely to be enough.
Yeah, I agree. There's only a couple of points really, but there's things about changing the way you look. If you want to reinvent yourself, so buy new clothes and improve your body language, and smiling more came up quite a lot. So that I think that increases the way that you feel about yourself if you're being openly positive and smiling, and your body language is much more positive. It makes you feel better, doesn't it?
Yeah. Have you considered reinventing yourself to the extent where you might smile in photos?
Not really. I think I had some taken yesterday at the quiz night, and I looked at them and I thought, I'm not smiling there still.
Yeah, I mean, it's more of a brand, that is, for you.
It is really, yeah. I've got a little registered trademark next to it, yeah.
Yeah.
But changing the way you talk was one that came up as well.
Changing the way you talk? What, like Steve McLaren when he went to manage...
Antwerp, or was it?
I don't know. No, it wasn't Antwerp, was it? He was in Holland.
But he took on a local dialect of English, didn't he, when he was doing that? But I think what they're talking about really is just because some people find that they talk too fast or too much.
Oh,
so
right.
try and slow yourself down a little bit, listen a little bit more, talk a little bit less, talking positively again. And gossip less came up in there as well.
Okay. So really it's more about behaviours than actual.
It is, yeah.
So it wasn't referring to my brother going on holiday to the North York Moors for a fortnight and coming back with a Yorkshire accent, which he's had ever since then.
It's not. No, it's not about that. But I suppose he did reinvent himself as a Yorkshireman at that point.
He did, yeah. Very peculiar that was. I've often wondered perhaps he had a clone and we got the clone back. And
perhaps he did, robot version or something.
Or he had a doppelganger, he turned up back. Anyway,
That's quite a good story, though. And is he stuck with it? Has he kept his
he's
accent?
still got it. If you spoke to him now, you'd still think, oh, he's not from around here, is he? He must be up. He came back. I remember in those first few weeks after he came, he used to call me our kid. like he'd just come out of, I know Coronation Street is Lancashire and not Yorkshire, but Northern,
yeah.
and he'd been on the North York Moors Railway, so yeah. All right, Graham. All right, our kid. That's what he used to say to me. I think he was probably quite young at the time, so he was probably quite impressionable, and being around lots of people who he admired and he looked up to, probably, that might have just been the clincher.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't realise that. But yeah.
Well, yeah, you probably, whenever you'd met him in the past, it probably wouldn't have been that many times, actually.
I've only met him.
I never see him. So,
no.
But so you probably thought there's a Yorkshire bloke living in Graham's house.
I don't remember seeing him that often. I must admit, he wasn't very often around, was he?
No, he was more of a sort of bit part character.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, an extra, wasn't he? Really?
Been an extra. Yeah, he has been an extra. Yeah, that's what he's been. Yeah.
The last thing there was we touched on it about changing your environment. We were talking about going to Marrakesh. It is talking about, sort of holidays, or indeed, relocating away, even moving. If you wanted to reinvent yourself, quite a tough one to do. As you said earlier on, your problems don't go away, but it may be that a lot of people, for example, like to, as they're getting to their dotage, like to retire to the seaside, don't they?
Yeah, I suppose where it might help, though, if you're in recovery, there's that whole kind of get away from the people you associated with when you were drinking.
That's true, yes.
I can see how moving geographically, if that's doable for you, gives you the opportunity to kind of start afresh. And I can see how, with the right mindset, that might, be helpful for some people. But yeah, I don't think it's not a necessity, is it? It's not
a necessity, but it says about changing your home or redecorating your home.
Oh, well, you'd be in favour of that, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. I think it's vital. And everyone that goes into recovery, I think it should straight away for the home redecorated.
What, the entirety of their home?
Absolutely. Yeah, top to bottom. Sort you out then. Your recovery move on at such a swift pace you won't realise.
Yeah, have your home redecorated, you're guaranteed to stay sober.
Guaranteed, yeah. It comes with a guarantee, that decorating, yeah.
That would be a good guarantee to offer. I bet you get some new clients if you said, we guarantee that you won't drink too much if you have your home redecorated.
Yeah, I don't know how strong that guarantee would hold, do you? I don't know.
I suspect you'd probably, you'd probably end up in court.
I'd be giving their money back to everyone, wouldn't I, virtually?
Probably.
That's about it, but I just wanted to sort of finish off with a nice little quote.
Okay.
Unattributed, but it says, if you wish to reinvent yourself, focus on what you wish for and not what you fear.
Yeah.
Which is about right, isn't it?
Definitely, because that's exactly what I was saying earlier on when I said, but the motivation to get away from pain is less powerful than the motivation to get towards pleasure.
Yeah, exactly.
Focus on what you want, not what you're afraid of.
Yeah. Yeah, you touched on it, and I was hoping you weren't going to expand on it because it would have ruined my closing quote.
Well, there we are.
That's about it, mate. And any other thoughts on that? We can move on to our gratitudes list, which I think it's yours to go first this week, isn't it?
Yes, I think it probably is. Okay, so I've got 2 this week.
Oh wow, okay.
They're related.
All right, good. Closely.
I've been feeling very grateful for the cold snap, actually, because the wintry weather looks lovely.
Evil.
It's lovely to be walking in with the dogs.
Horrible to be walking in.
It's also really sort of hard underfoot, so they're not getting all muddy and wet.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Them, right, so lots of really lovely things about that. I love to be out in this sort of weather when when you're appropriately dressed.
Yeah.
But the other thing that I'm grateful for is that I've got enough money to heat my house.
Oh, right, yes.
Because if I didn't have, then the wintry weather is not quite so much fun.
No, it wouldn't be. And I think
so. I know it might sound a bit trite, but I genuinely do feel grateful that I can keep my house warm when a lot of people can't. So
I don't think it's trite if you are grateful for it and not taking it for granted.
Yeah. I am grateful for it, and it's lovely, isn't it, to come into a nice warm house?
Yeah, I agree. that's the two of them. You've done them, so you didn't keep one for next week then, because I've got several. But I thought I'm going to keep one for next week. But the one
I can always think of something. I'll think something else will happen that I'll be grateful for.
You're absolutely right, because I think I'll jot that down, and I don't need to because something else comes up.
I'm grateful for having lots of things to feel grateful for.
It works in on itself. It's a spiral, an upward spiral. Yeah. Well, I'm grateful for distractions this week, which came about because I was distracted away from watching the football last night and the horrors that were unfolding in the World Cup quarter-final with England by being at a quiz night.
That's nice.
Which was really fun. It was on in the background, but it really lessened the pain. Because if I'd have been fully invested watching that match, I'd have felt dreadful afterwards, but I didn't. It was a much easier, smoother, nicer experience, really.
Well, I'm glad for you. That's nice. But of course, you made it more difficult for me because usually if I'm watching those sorts of games with you, as I've said to you before, I feel better because I can see how upset you are. And because you weren't there to cushion the blow,
for you,
I had to deal with it on my own.
Did you?
So it's a bit I think that was a bit selfish of you.
Well, I was grateful for that. So I was grateful for Sophie for putting that on. She's been on my gratitude list before, so she's entering again. She did a very good job as the host.
I don't think I've ever been on your gratitude list.
Probably not, mate. Up your game, and I'll see what I can do. How does that sound?
Yeah, that's great. Oh well, that's good. I'm pleased for you. That's nice that you had an enjoyable evening and won England.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So but I suppose the other thing it does, when you're in that sort of situation, it's also putting into context disappointments like, football or any sporting disappointment, isn't it? You're because you are living a life amongst people who are in your life every day, whereas those, millionaire footballers, we don't know them, do we? I mean,
no, we don't.
It doesn't really affect us, does it, when England lose?
No, really? It doesn't. No, not really. It's quite nice also, I think, being amongst a mixed group where some people liked football and some people really didn't, had no care about it at all. So that softened the impact of it as well. Because when you're amongst just football fans and it goes wrong, it turns sour, doesn't it? The atmosphere and everything, and the mood turns bad. Yeah. But when it's a mixed crowd, people that are not affected by it, much easier landing on that one.
That's right. They keep you buoyant, don't they?
They do, yeah.
Actually, I have the ultimate silver lining to England's defeat last night. And that is that had England won that game and then beaten Morocco and won the World Cup, if you can imagine such a thing.
No, but yes, go on.
The magnificent achievement of the Lionesses would be overshadowed.
You're probably true. Yes, it would have been.
Nobody would be talking about the Lionesses winning the Euros. They'd all be talking about, England won the World Cup. Yeah. So I think actually it's for the best because the women deserve the plaudits they're going to get.
Yes, they do. Absolutely right. And I agree. I hadn't really thought of it in those terms, but that's a very positive point. A very valid point. Well made, in fact. So, I'm grateful for you for making that point. How about that? I've sneaked you onto my list.
Yeah, I was a PS.
About it.
I was a PS on the gratitude list.
You bullied me to get on it, to be honest, but
good.
Anyway, that's about it. This, apart from the daysoftheyear.com.
What you got?
Not very much, really. You might like the first one, World Candle Lighting Day.
Oh, I love a candle.
I know you love a candle around by your bath, don't you?
No, not just around my bath. I love a candle. I've just bought some candles. The only thing, I'll tell you the problem I have with candles, lighting them.
Yeah, you don't like lighting them, or I have trouble lighting them?
No, I don't have trouble lighting them. The reason I don't like lighting them is because they burn down and then they're not there anymore.
Yeah, no, they lose shape. They reinvent themselves, don't they, as blobs?
They reinvent themselves into nothing. So I don't like their transitory nature. That's what annoys me about a candle.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, I love a candle. I mean, I'm okay. It won't be great if we have power cuts this winter, but sitting in candlelight, lovely. Love it.
It is nice. It does give a lovely warm glow. There's a slightly sad element to this World Candle Lighting Day because it's supposed to be. For you light a candle for if you've had a child that's died.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know. And everywhere you light it at 7 o'clock. I think it's tonight, so it'll be 7 o'clock tonight. You light a candle, and then as the time zones change around the world, each country puts one on at 7 o'clock. So this light sort of travels around the world as 7 o'clock approaches and disappears again.
Well, it's a lovely thought, but
the thought of unity.
Now you've brought me down.
I know, yeah. The underlying thought is nasty, but it's quite a nice visualization, I suppose, of the unity around the world.
It is, yeah.
I wish I hadn't read about it and just left it as World Candle Lighting Day, but there we go.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, and the only other one was National Have a Bagel Day. Now, I'm not. I know. I think you're quite a fan of bagels, aren't you?
Love a bagel. Yeah.
I'll never eat them. I don't think I've ever eaten. Have I eaten one?
You've never had a bagel?
I've probably had one or two, but I don't get them really.
You've never had a smoked salmon and cream cheese bagel, or a bagel with salt beef and mustard and gherkin? Well, you wouldn't have mustard, would you?
No.
Well, you're missing out. A bagel is one of life's great pleasures.
Is it? Well, they've got a hole in the middle, haven't they? You buy them on
is that
racks.
a problem for you then?
Yeah,
so you
it's
like polos either.
No, I don't like a polo. It's just a waste of space in the middle. I don't get it. Instead of a bagel, just have a roll. You know, all this faffing about of splitting it around the outside and that, and then around the ring.
Not the same. Bagels are not the same.
Of course they are.
They're not. Bagels are chewy. Bagels are chewy. It's a whole different process.
Annoying stuff falls out and falls through.
You have to put a bagel in boiling water before you bake it.
Do you? Well, I don't know about most people just buy them already done, mate. But yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's how they're made. But if you buy shitty old commercial ones, you try making your own bagels. How about that?
What are the chances of that happening? I might buy one to see how it, because I haven't. I'll probably had one, but I don't really remember them.
Bagels are magnificent.
Are they? Yeah. Okay.
I'm fully in favour of World Bagel Day or whatever it is.
Well, it's national, so I don't know if that's world, but we can call it world if you like. Okay. I might go buy one later on, then just to doff my cap in the direction of that day.
Yeah, and have it with some Philadelphia and smoked salmon.
Smoked salmon. That sounds quite nice. Yeah.
Yeah. You could even smoke your own salmon, couldn't you?
That's going a little bit too far, isn't it? Really, it takes a few weeks to smoke them properly as well, doesn't it?
No, not really, no. I mean, it's much easier to hot smoke salmon than it is to cold smoke salmon.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We won't go into that because I'm starting to fall asleep whilst you're talking. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to go on to the last bit, which is on this day in music. Now, there wasn't a great deal apart from this day. What is the date today? Do you know?
It's the 11th of December today when we're recording.
It's the 11th, right. So on the 11th of December, for some reason, it always throws up a really crap number one. All right?
Oh.
So, yeah, it does. Yeah, well, I've got three examples. Like, so the 11th of December we'll go from the earliest one, 1968 was Lily the Pink by The Scaffold.
I had that on 45, so I can't agree with you that
crap song there.
Terrible song.
It's probably the better ones. The next one up was in 1971 was Ernie the Fastest Milkman in the West by Benny Hill.
Also got that one, classic.
Okay, I wonder if you got this last one, 1993, Mr. Blobby.
No, that is shit.
It is shit, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, out of those three, I think the first two are fine, but the third one, no.
No, okay. We agree to disagree. The only other thing that happened on this day, actually, I didn't put down the year, but Ace Frehley from Kiss.
Yeah,
he was electrocuted during a concert when he touched a dodgy connection. He was carted off, but then he came back on 10 minutes later and finished the set. So
you wouldn't have been keen to see Kiss, would you?
No, I don't like them, but I know you're a big fan.
Oh, well, I am a big fan. Well, I used to be a big fan. I wouldn't say I'm quite so much of a fan now. But I tell you what, whenever I think of Kiss, I always think of Paul, your brother.
Do you?
Yeah, because when I first got into Kiss, I told him that Gene Simmons, the bass player and singer, played an axe, which of course he did. It was literally a guitar shaped like an axe.
Yeah.
And Paul used to find that ridiculous. He used to laugh at me. He used to say plays an axe, laugh in my face, until one day I was able to show him a picture of it. So thinking of Kiss always makes me think of Paul. So there we are.
I did see a Kiss tribute band rock the moat this year, and basically it was two guys just dressed up looking like Kiss doing karaoke. Basically, it was awful.
Poor, isn't it?
It was very, I don't like their stuff anyway, and to see that rubbish on stage, it made me quite angry.
Yeah, they unmasked themselves, didn't they, some years ago? And that once the illusion's gone, I think that probably took a lot of the interest away.
Like Kendo Nagasaki, the wrestler in the 70s.
Did he unmask himself as well?
He did get unmasked eventually, yeah.
Like the Undertaker of the World Wrestling Federation.
Is that, I don't know much about that. WWF.
Is it WWF or
I don't know, mate.
That's the World Wildlife Fund, isn't it? Or is it WWE? I got this wrong in a previous episode, so I've got to be a bit careful. Anyway, I don't understand. If people have built up their reputation by, being masked, why would you unmask yourself? It's just like takes all the magic away.
I'll tell you why. They're reinventing themselves.
Very good. And on that bombshell,
yes, we'll wind it up.
See you next week.
Laters. Bye.
Bye. Sideways was created by Graham Landy and Martin Pankhurst. If you want to read more about our work or sort through the extensive archive of past episodes, just visit grahamlandywellbeing.co.uk/sideways-podcast. You can follow us on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram at Sideways Podcast, and you can email us if you have a question or if there's something you'd like us to cover. But most of all, we want to tell you how grateful we are that you come and listen, and we ask that if you've enjoyed what you've heard, that you spread the word. And we'll see you next week.